Hey, how you doing? Welcome. I'm Ian Connery, owner and founder of Alias Marketing and Design. We're here. Welcome to our first episode of our brand new podcast. And we've decided to do this podcast for a number of different reasons. And I suppose to start today, we're going to dig back in time and try and discover how we got to this stage in life, in my career, in the Alias story, Alias Marketing and Design, a design, marketing, and print agency here in Dublin, Ireland. And we help out many different clients from all over Ireland, Dublin and Ireland, to generate a lot of money from 6, 7 figures in some cases. Some of our clients generate every year, and we do it through design, marketing, and the print medium. So, how are we here is the question. Everybody has a story, and everybody goes on a journey to get to one place. So, there's a couple of different reasons how I specifically got here and how Alias grew to this point. So, for episode 1 of our brand new Alias Marketing and Design podcast, which we, I suppose, over the next few episodes, will look at a day in the life of a marketeer and entrepreneur, and how this podcasting journey will improve our business, and how I suppose it can improve the life for me, my family, and all our clients as well. So that's the purpose of the journey. We've been advised on I suppose, a certain course, a very famous course that we're partaking in at the moment. Again, I'll release some details on that in the next few episodes as well. But there is a reason that we're here, and there's a reason that I'm starting this podcasting thing. And I suppose there's definitely a reason why this microphone that I'm even staring at, and this mic stand, and everything that's here in the office in front of me, how I made the choices to purchase these specific models, and how I have the knowledge and the skills to present on the microphone and basically put across my message. So anyway, today, episode 1 of the Alias Marketing and Design podcast, we're going to kind of delve down into the start of the Alias story, and specifically my origin story with regard to how I got started, and how I'm here today, and why I'm here today, talking to you all. So basically, the whole story began many, 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 many moons ago. And I suppose back in the 90s, I was always involved and loved music, and also had an interest in design, creating things, and understanding the psychology behind why things happened and why people acted in certain ways, specifically with regard to kind of marketing and sales. So I originally started out, did a train under an amazing guy, had a great opportunity to start and do some design work and learn in the design industry. Slowly moved on to get a degree in marketing in Dublin City University. So while I was in Dublin City University, I got an opportunity again with another great man and icon here in the Irish hospitality industry. So I was got an opportunity to work in the entertainment industry, specifically as a DJ and a entertainer back in the early 90s. So with that, getting started in the industry, still in college, studying away, having a great time, enjoying life as an entertainer, as a DJ back in the 90s in Ireland was amazing. It was a really cool time. Music was great. Memories were great. Clubs, bars were all jam-packed all the time. And I suppose when you're having so much fun, you kind of forget that, you forget about your journey that's going to happen later on in your life. So you kind of concentrate on the good times, having great fun, meeting loads of cool people, and entertaining and just having an amazing party of a life, making lots of money. I suppose the time was great as well. So while all the guys in university were kind of struggling as college students, I had the opportunity perhaps to kind of make a bit more money than everyone else was towards the end of my career in university. So anyway, we stuck with the DJ, stuck with the entertainment, and while this was going on, obviously I was doing it professionally, so I was full time, 5 nights a week, and as part of it, it was to keep your bread and butter gigs. So they would be your Sunday, Monday, Tuesday gigs, even Wednesday, and I suppose now would be kind of Thursday and almost Friday would be bread and butter. But back in the day, your Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday gigs were what people needed, to grab onto and get, because you needed to make a living out of it. So in order to do this, you had to come up with, I suppose, a plan. You had to differentiate yourself from other guys in the industry. And what we would do was we would go and we would create concepts for nights, and we would do the marketing and the concept behind the whole thing, and how different events would work, and where we could make it really, really interesting for the customers in Dublin who are out on the beer, having a party, and would come into the club. So I would go, I would present in front of the general managers of the hotels or the nightclubs or the bars, or the owners of the companies, and we present our concept, how we deliver it, and 99.9% of the time it was amazing. And I had that skill. There was many other people who were involved in the industry, weren't involved really at that time in marketing. Um, Things have changed an awful lot now, but specifically back then in the 90s, I had the skill, I had the knowledge on not loads, not loads and loads and loads. I mean, I was only out of college a while, but still, it was better than what other people had, so it was good to work with. So, flash forward, the 90s were great. Everybody was making loads of money. Owners were happy. They were opening the doors. People were flooding into their clubs, and the Celtic Tiger in Ireland. Everybody was rich and making loads of money, and everyone was happy. And then what happened was, people suddenly, bars, clubs, start discovering that they couldn't open their doors anymore, and people would just flock in. So what happened was, again, we kind of concentrated, and I'd been involved, as I said, in the event concept and event marketing. So people would start to contact me and get in touch and say, listen, we need a hand on this night. Can you help us out? We need a concept. And that's what we were doing. So people were kind of getting in touch. Other DJs were getting in touch and for advice. So it kind of grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. And we were getting involved in different sort of bars and clubs. And everything was great. So specifically, then we kind of towards the end of the end of the noughties, I suppose what happened with the DJ industry was, and the entertainment, laptops came in, the barriers to entry in the industry went down. It just wasn't. It was too easy. Everybody was getting involved, and everybody wanted a slice of the pie. There was kind of part-time DJs. There wasn't many professional DJs anymore. So what actually happened was, I was given an opportunity to work in one of the bars, to get involved in the promotion part. So we go out during the day, and obviously at night time, people would see me in the club. And then during the day, we'd go out, we'd speak to businesses, and we'd pre-book them in, get them into the party. And it was really, really cool. Um, did really, really well. And I suppose at, at that point, then my my wife got sick, and I suppose I just needed, with regard to the competition in the industry. She was ill. I was out late, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, trying to get home to her. She was on her own. So I suppose I made the decision that I knew I needed a new business, or I needed to expand on the business. Needed to create something new. I was getting older. DJs can't be really old; they have to be young and cool. So I was getting old. I knew that like a professional footballer, or it was perhaps time to kind of hang up my headphones, or make a plan differently. Um, and we'd be kind of looking around, and things had grown an awful lot. Not in an organized fashion, in the sense that I was still working as a consultant, so it wasn't consolidated at all. And what we did then was, with the promo, there was a few changes in the organization, and I got more involved. So I was handling social media as well. And again, this was back around 2009. So even, the whole social media manager, social media agency thing wasn't big. A lot of people weren't even on social media, but it was really, really effective to get customers in the door. And we were booking in half, sometimes half the club would be, almost full before we even opened the doors, down to Facebook marketing. And again, Facebook ads weren't around. But so with when my wife being sick, and kind of making that decision to move on, I knew I needed a plan, and I'd always been involved in learning, and always kept myself up to date with what and the knowledge that I needed, and I was kind of like an all in guy, as opposed to kind of doing things half-hearted. Everything had to be done, I suppose, in a perfectionist sort of way. And so whatever skills needed, I always kept up to date with industry knowledge, regard to social media, etc. So this was going great. I was working as a consultant for one of the clubs, almost full time, still DJing and still doing kind of part time work for some of the other clubs and hotels. And what was happening was that we'd have to get stuff done. We'd have events coming in, and the club was flying. It was doing really well. And then suddenly we reached this roadblock where we need something designed, and something created, something printed. Something will go wrong with a website or something. There was some issues with email marketing. So we had to find a solution, look for a solution. And what happened was that I'd been obviously trained originally as worked as a designer, and had kept obviously my interest in design, and up, and kept it going. So what happened then was that I suppose I we realized that these guys who were professionals, in inverted commas, and were hired to do jobs, stuff wasn't coming in. It was taking too long. The standard wasn't great. So I basically picked up my Photoshop again, and started designing flyers, designing originally designing kind of Facebook covers and smaller kind of stuff, initially, and polished up my Photoshop skills, and kept going. Started doing the artwork, and then we were doing artwork for the websites. With that came a few challenges, so I brushed up my skills on web design, solved the solutions. So it kept going. It was going great. We were doing design, we were doing all the marketing, all the general consultancy. We were doing email marketing, web design. It was all kind of based on kind of content management system, and bits and pieces with WordPress, email marketing as well. And then, as a byproduct of all this, obviously with hotels and hospitality and nightclubs, you needed printing. So I was dealing with print suppliers and etc. So it was really, really cool, getting great knowledge, working with a great team at the time, and getting great experience. And then obviously every day, every night, we were kind of research and keeping up to date with everything that was going on. So I suppose that main obstacle was the fact that we were dealing with designers and marketing agencies that weren't really, they were good. Don't get me wrong. There was nothing wrong with them. But in my opinion, and the opinion of some of the guys who are working, we needed to do stuff real quickly. And anybody who's ever worked in the hospitality or entertainment or event industry knows that you got to do stuff really, really quickly. It just, that's the nature of the beast. So You always got to keep ahead of your competitors. There's always one or two clubs facing each other who need to kind of compete, come up with an idea, get the idea out, and get the customers in. So that was it. So that's how we I suppose I honed the skills of design and marketing, and I suppose kept up to date with marketing. Still involved in DJing, still involved in entertainment and marketing the events. So everything was going great when suddenly just there was a few changes in the organizations, in ownership, in management, and within 9 months, everything was everything was gone. It was February 2013, and I'd no work, no gigs. All my consultancy jobs had gone because the gigs and the organizations had changed leadership and changed ownership. So coupled with that, my wife um, had a beautiful baby girl. So and the year before that, or year and 15 months before that, we had a beautiful boy. So we had a 1 year old, a brand new baby girl. I had no job. My wife had been, as I said, been ill, hadn't been working, hadn't collected enough stamps. She herself had an amazing career in the hotel industry, um, and but unfortunately, because she hadn't been working, she hadn't collected enough stamps. So and basically hadn't connected enough credits to get any kind of state benefit. Here in Ireland, um, ladies get state maternity benefit generally nearly every lady does, but in my wife's case, she couldn't get it. So that was really bad. We literally zero income. Any money I had in the bank was owed to the revenue. It was all saved up as tax money to be given to the revenue in October. And so my wife went out. We tried to apply for some sort of assistance to kind of help see if she was entitled to anything. And I still remember that day. We filled out all the applications again. It kind of took me 2 days to get everything together, to get all my books sorted out, um, fill out forms. Just literally constantly sitting down 2 days, getting all the accounts and all together to submit these forms. And we waited and we waited, and then came back and she'd been rejected. What wasn't entitled to anything. So yeah, I was sitting in my brother's office, who's looking to try and get some sort of business together there and grow the agency. I remember picking up the phone and speaking to the lady, and she said no, she was entitled to 80 cent. That was it, and because um, that was it, she was entitled to nothing. So I was sitting there and I was like, what am I gonna do? What I knew I had to get this off the ground. Um all the contacts that I had in the various bars, clubs, and hotels had all moved on. They were all working in organizations now that had structure set up, that they had their designers in place, they had their printers in place. But there was a couple of lads who I had, and buddies of mine, who I suppose were aware of the situation, and tried to help me out, gave me work. Really, amazing to have the love from buddies, I suppose. So what happened was we just kept plugging on, just kept plugging on, kept working, just sat down literally every night, day and night, um, sitting up till 3, 4 in the morning. Oh, excuse me, 3 or 4 in the morning, learning web design, learning Photoshop. Let's hope we can edit that out. learning Photoshop, learning web design. Literally, how do I improve the skills that I have? And I was like, I need to make money. I need to get some sort of money in. And luckily, over the time, um, money that I'd been owed for work previously was kind of dripping in. Eventually, after about 6 months, I start getting some sort of money in. But up to then, it was an absolute nightmare. There was nothing coming in. A few people got in contact. I kind of got back involved in DJing, and one or two nights. A buddy of mine got me back involved in one of the clubs that I'd been, and it was good. It was good. It was really really helpful. But I mean, I still wasn't back to where I was. Um, so we plugged on, kept going, tried to improve the income, tried to improve what I had. So just continuously plugging on, going and going and going and going, and just every day sitting down, reading, learning every single day, and growing my skill set. So luckily at the time we got met some really really cool guys and got one or two contracts that and some of them are still with us today. We worked really hard. I suppose they every time we would meet these guys, excuse me, they'd say, "Listen, the proof was in the pudding." We'd be straight up front on what we were doing. We were a new business trying to get a start. Bearing in mind, it was in the recession. This was all going on in the worst times in Dublin, in Ireland, in the general world economy. This is obviously 2013, 2014. You know, people were pretty down about the whole thing. So yeah, so that was it. Fast forward, um, we moved on. We kept learning. We proved the pudding to all these big business owners who were doing really really well. Really nice, cool guys that basically gave us a chance. Um, and just I suppose let us prove or let me prove to them that it was worthwhile. So anyway, listen, I'm looking here. It's 22 minutes that I've been giving my backstory. Pretty sure that's pretty too long, but anyway, I hope up to now has been has has explained to why where we nearly are. So basically, to kind of conclude, Alias was created back in March 2013. So March 14th, I'm kind of hazarding a guess. That's what I kind of say. I kind of say 14th. So that's when the next journey, the plan started to move on forward. And listen, tomorrow we'll catch up with what happened once we got it up, once we got a few clients in the door. And listen, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened to me as a person. Bearing in mind, I was partying, I was having a great time for 15 years of my life. Didn't really have a proper job. Didn't really kind of know how to, I suppose, act in a proper job because it was a completely different industry. So tomorrow, episode 2, we'll move on to I suppose life in Alias and what it was like growing the business and moving it forward to where we are now. And I suppose predominantly how I changed as a person and as a businessman. And right, cool guys. Listen, thanks for listening. Hope it's been interesting. It's been a ride for me the past few years. And listen, looking forward to sharing my thoughts on business, sharing my thoughts on marketing, design, and life in general. Talk to you soon. Cheers.